I'm joined by former University of Central Oklahoma and current Challengers defensive back Tre'Vaughn Craig. Tre'Vaughn, thank you once again for coming on and talking to us. Last time we talked to you, it was ahead of your senior season back in 2022. A lot's changed since then. You graduated, and now you're playing professionally in Japan. So, I guess first, um, how do you feel about the way your UCO career ended on the football field?
Not too bad. I feel like I made the best of the opportunities I was presented with. Obviously, I would have liked it to have gone a little bit better, making all conference or all American, or even getting to a bowl game. But things just play out the way they do. I don't think it was an overall bad career though.
And you all your class, you, Rob, Mike, all those guys, you were able to at least end with a winning season that hadn't been done in I think about 3 or 4 years. So,
Yeah.
what did that mean to you, knowing you at least were able to walk off that field for the last time, uh, a winner with a winning record?
Right. Yeah. I mean, it meant a lot. Like you said, we hadn't had a winning season since I think 2019 was my first season on the team. I believe we went 6-5 also. Um, but man, it meant a lot because as you continue to play games and you're working hard, everybody coming in training hard in the off season and the summer workouts and all that, you getting amped up and ready for the season, and then it don't go the way that you want it to go. Sometimes the season can start to drag on when you're just getting beat on, and or even the year before we were losing a lot of games, but it was close games like by a touchdown or so. So it can just get draining, and I know it was good for the team as well as the coaching staff to be able to end on a positive note.
And when you kind of, because you talk about, because we started fast and you were like 5-2, and then you had the kind of the slid, that thing was like Washburn, Pitt, and somebody else. How were you all able though to kind of find a way to respond to that in that season finale? Because it could have been easy for it to just spiral and say,
Yeah.
well, our bowl hopes are gone. Like what else is there to really play for? But I thought you all on senior day really played for each other, for the seniors. So like, what kind of was the mindset going into that final game?
I guess it was really just that, like giving each other all we got one last time. Because even though we didn't have any opportunity to get into a bowl game really, or to make the playoffs or anything, we still wanted to end on a positive note and not finish our careers with a losing season. So I think it just was making sure that we knew that this was for us as a group and just being competitive. I don't think our competitive nature would have let us just lay down and not finish the season how we wanted.
And when you kind of look back on your UCO journey from being a tryout player to being a starter, what kind of sticks out to you the most?
What do you mean in terms of like what I went through?
Yes.
Um, I think just the group of people that I had around me, because the team changes every semester, so there's people in and out all the time, but the people that I really got to grow close with over those years being there, and just being able to find people that were had the same mindset as me, that wanted to work all the time and just fell in love with the game and was always on the field, always working out. So there was a select few players I had each year that if I called them at 11 o'clock at night, was like, "You trying to hit the field?" They'd be like, "Yeah, let's go," and we'd find somewhere to go. So that was kind of what stuck out to me, was being able to be around a group of people that loved the game as much as I did.
So you wrapped up your UCO career. So then, now, how do we go from Edmond all the way to Japan?
Really is a crazy story. So social media is wild right now. So really, I was scrolling on TikTok one day and I came across this dude's profile that was talking about playing professionally in Japan, and I had never heard of the league before, so I watched the video, and it looked pretty cool. Like the scenery, the gameplay style, like everything looked just interesting to me. So I reached out to him and asked him how he ended up getting over there. And he responded back and said basically he messaged them on their social media page, and then they went from there. So I was like, all right, cool. So I really only messaged two teams. There's two divisions. There's the X1 Super, which is what I play in, and there's X1 Area, which is like a lower level. But there's about 24 teams, 12 in each division. I only messaged two teams in the Super. It was the team that he was on, and then the team I played for. And then I kind of just I sent the message out, just throw a feeler out there, and then went on about my business. And they ended up getting back to me like a couple weeks later, and from there everything just went fast. I ended up signing and got out of there.
So, okay, that's like your journey here is crazy because like
Man.
because we're talking about you started your athletic journey in college started as a wrestler. I think it was
Mm-hmm.
Wisconsin Parkside, and now
Right.
here we are. Fast forward, you're signing to play football in Japan. In
Yep.
that moment when you signed that contract, like what was going through your mind?
Honestly, it was just a relief and a blessing to be able to continue doing what I love to do. Because obviously, the way my career started out was me chasing a dream, like chasing after my passion, wanting to do something that I felt like I could do at that level. And it's no different for me now. I feel like I'm more than capable of being a professional way. You know what I'm saying? It's just I feel like I'm supposed to be on a professional level. So it was like I just kept betting on myself, and then going through, the pro day didn't really turn out how I wanted to. It wasn't really much interest coming from CFL teams or NFL teams, understandably. Um, and so I was doing during that process, I was doing a whole bunch of workouts, open tryouts, and all that. And it was like I think I did like 4 or 5 months straight of just doing that. So it was starting to get like, all right, am I about to have to let this go? I really ain't want to. But when I reached out to them, they got back to me, reviewed my film, did an interview, and they liked how I interviewed, liked how my film looked. It just was really a relief and a blessing to be like, it was reassurance to where I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm not done yet.
So now, when you got over to Japan,
Mhm.
what I guess were your first impressions?
Man, it was crazy. I never left the country before. The only reason I had my passport was because I was going over there. I had to do a real quick turnaround process with that. So it was very different, but I'm a very spontaneous person. I feel like I adjust well to things I'm not used to. So when I got out there, it hit immediately when we landed, because I landed in Tokyo first, and you have to go through customs when you come into a new country. So I didn't know that you could fill out a customs form before you get on the plane. So I could have filled out the English version. But now I'm in Japan. I don't read no Japanese, and I'm having to fill out a customs form in Japanese. And I'm over here asking people, they don't really speak no English at the airport. So I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. So I kind of filled it out what I thought was happening. And I guess I didn't mess it up because I ain't end up in jail or nothing. But it was it was crazy.
I mean, that is important to you. That would have been very tough. You get off the plane, you go to jail, and I call the team like, "Hey, so."
Yeah, straight to jail. It's illegal to bring meat products into Japan. I almost got in trouble with that. I had a bag of beef jerky. You're not allowed to bring that in. I had to throw it out. They almost got me a couple times.
No, I was not aware of that. Well, okay. That's interesting. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. And there's more differences than just language. Like being of food, I know the food's different. So,
Mhm.
like, how long did it kind of take you to get acquainted to the Japanese lifestyle?
Um, Not long at all. It was. I think the thing that made it a lot easier was we had a rookie receiver came from ULM, Boogie Knight. We were I got there like 2 days before he did. So I had somebody else that was there going through the process with me. It wasn't like I had to get accustomed by myself. So for the whole season, we would work out together, go travel places together, figure out the train systems and everything, like the language and navigating everything together. So it wasn't really like it wasn't too hard because I didn't have to do it by myself. So we was kind of like struggling with that together until we figured it out. But I say it maybe took like a month to get like really comfortable and in a routine. So it really wasn't long at all.
Yeah, because it's because when I saw your teammate with Boogie Night, I'm like, that's pretty cool because one of his teammates was one of your former teammates in Tyrone Howe. So I
Yeah,
was like, that's a pretty cool connection right there.
yeah.
Um,
It's
so
crazy.
kind of like what?
His Smells, our old strength and conditioning coach, went over there to ULM too, so he knows him too.
Oh, he did, didn't he? Yeah,
Yep.
you realize it's a really small world.
Yep.
That's kind of insane to me. That's the case. So kind of like what was like a normal day for you over there?
Um, well, they have a really weird practice schedule, so we only practice on Saturday and Sunday. During the week, everybody else, the Japanese players all have full time jobs, so they work during the week and then they practice on the weekends. And then we get paid to just. There's three Americans on the team, and we get paid to just play football. So all throughout the week, we don't have anything that we have to do, so we just keep our training schedule and pretty much stick to that. So it'll be like a Monday through Friday. We'll work out from at like 7 or 8 a.m. depending on when we get up. Probably we'll lift, um, do some cardio, go to the field, hit the ice bath, hot tub, and probably be done with that around like 1:30, 2 o'clock, depending on where we're at in the season. And then from after that, we kind of just got the rest of the day to do it whatever we want. So typically we just go explore. We live in Amagasaki, so it's like a 15-minute train ride from Osaka. So we'll go out there or go to Kobe, two big cities that are real close to us, and just kind of go explore or whatever. And them cities are big enough to where we didn't even get to explore half of it while we were out there. So it's a whole lot, a bunch of different stuff to do every day.
So only practicing 2 days a week. Like I know that's got to be different coming from high school and college where you do it 4 days a week. So like the 2 days you all did practice. I mean, was it a lot jam packed into those 2 days, or did it feel like it was like a normal practice, similar to how it was in college and high school?
Yeah, not even close. It was so much packed into that. I'm talking about we up there at like 9 a.m. and we not getting home till like 6, 7 p.m. We're not on the field that whole time, but between meetings, working out, getting on the field, and then we'll probably have meetings and film after that too. Like just from start to finish, the whole process was an all day thing, Saturday and Sunday. But then when we got more into the season, it'll cut down a little bit, but we still going to like 3, 4 p.m. And then we got our game days.
Now and how long did that take to it? Just because I'm sure you're used to like 2 or 3 hour practices 4 days a week to now you're there like almost like it's literally from almost sun up to sundown. So like how what was that kind of adjustment period like?
Honestly, I really don't even know for real because I didn't have much time to feel the adjustment because I landed in Japan on, I want to say, Friday. I landed on Friday and practiced Saturday, Sunday. So the next day I was at practice, like, and they what was it? I think it was 14 hours ahead at the time before we do all the spring forward, fall back stuff. I think they're 14 hours ahead. So I land there, I sleep for maybe like 3 hours that night, and get up. We go lift in the morning, and I wasn't really supposed to practice, but at this point, I ain't touched the field in like 4 or 5 months just to be able to play some. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna practice. So I really ain't even adjust for it. We just jumped out there and started going the whole day, and it's just over time, my body kind of got used to it.
But okay, now you so because you're factoring in the time difference, you're factoring in,
Uh,
I'm sure there was some kind of jet lag. You're running on 3 hours of sleep
yeah.
and you go through the full gauntlet of workout and practice. How were you feeling after that?
Um, I really don't even. I can't even describe it. It wasn't that bad, honestly. It really wasn't that bad. The toughest adjustment I had to make was my sleep schedule. But in terms of my body being able to feel fine, like I was running fine, moving, my body was under control, everything. So it wasn't like it was something that immediately I was fine on the field. But it probably took me 2 weeks to adjust my sleep schedule. But it wasn't like it really wasn't nothing crazy like you would think it would be.
And so your first game, the time because again here you are you're winning for this opportunity to continue your football career. Here it is, your first game as a pro. What kind of talk through what were the emotions? What kind of was your mindset going into that first game?
Um, I mean, it really wasn't any different than like it would have been in college. I was just ready to play, ready to compete, and it was a little bit. I guess I'll say I was a little nervous because I was at a new position. When I in college, I was typically a safety and nickel, and when I got to Japan, my first 2 or 3 games, they had me at corner. I did play some nickel later in the season too, and ended up being my primary position. But for the first 2 or 3 games, I was mostly at corner, which was different. I had never played that before, so it was a little nerve wracking doing that, not really knowing the game from that perspective. But it really ain't take long to adjust, and it was just at that point we on the field, so it's just time to have fun.
And when you had to end up playing corner early on, what kind of was the hardest part of the switch from safety to corner?
Um, Probably just figuring out where I was comfortable in my cushion with letting the receiver get close to me and when I need to turn and flip my hips and all that. But I mean, I really figured that out like a quarter into the game. I just had to learn to gauge the speed a little bit quicker than I usually have to.
And that's what I'm gonna tell you about too. Like, what, like, kind of describe the level of competition that you face because you're in the higher of the two leagues. So,
Mhm.
what kind of was the level of competition?
Really, it wasn't. It was good. The competition level was good. It really didn't feel no different than playing in college. Like some of these players are really good, especially the Americans they bring over to the week one. The American I ended up just following him wherever he went. He was a receiver that played at Cal and then finished his career at University of Nebraska. So they're bringing over a lot of Division One or former NFL, CFL guys that are for their Americans, and then the Japanese players as well. We got a couple people on other teams that play in the CFL or played in the CFL and come back for the season. So they've got some quality players over there. It's the game really flows. You gotta be on your stuff. Definitely not a pushover league at all.
And so now, when you're able to hold your own against those guys, those former high level guys, those former CFL guys, what kind of does that mean to you? I mean, I'm sure obviously you have a belief that
Right.
you can play with those guys, but like just like showing that and having that on film to show what does that mean to you to now be able to show proof like yeah I can play at this high of level.
Um, it really don't do nothing special for me at all. Cause like you said, I got the mindset. I already knew I could do it. I felt like I was better than them before I got there. I really felt almost disrespected that they thought they could beat me, honestly. So it was like it wasn't really like nothing to me, but it does. It's like I've been having to prove that my whole life from high school. I ain't get to start playing varsity till my junior year. College, I really ain't get no playing time till my second year there, third year there. So it was like I've always had to tell somebody else, like, bro, I'm telling you, I'm good like that, and kind of had to prove it. So it's really no different than what it's been. So it's like it's the same feeling. Like I'm not surprised. Y'all might be surprised, but I've been said I was like that. So it's really the same thing. It hasn't changed in that aspect.
And when I saw you for a while were among the tackle leaders, I was not surprised by that. Um, some of the tackles, the big hits, I was like, that's vintage Tre'Vaughn Craig. Like at a
Right.
certain point, did people kind of like start trying to avoid you? I mean, I'm sure they would have seen the physical play and the big hits. So like, were any people trying to like avoid you throughout the season?
Yeah. They definitely would. I mean, they're competitive just like I am, so they don't want to just shy away from the competition. They kind of want to be like, you think you could beat us? We want to beat you too, type thing. So it's every once in a while, I'm sure they didn't enjoy going at me the whole game because I think I only had one missed tackle the whole year, and we came into it's this team called Saga Mihara Rise. They're based out in Tokyo. They got an American receiver and an American quarterback. So you know me, I like to talk to people in the game, especially nobody else really know what I'm saying. I'm gonna talk to the people that can hear me. So I'm I'm telling them the whole time, throw the ball this way, man. I'm getting bored over here. And I come up, I probably done had maybe one or two tackles by halftime, and that's not really that's not much action for me. So I'm talking to them in the middle of their huddle, and I'm like, "So what's the deal? Why y'all not coming this way? Is the game plan to run away from me?" And they were like, "Well, yeah, we not going over there." And I was like, "Oh, all right." But yeah, they kind of was. They didn't really want to go that way too much.
I mean, can you blame? I mean, they're trying to win the game.
Right, right. I'm saying though, I'm always trying to play too. I want some plays. Like at least give me the chance, you know.
What they said, they can't take that chance.
Hey, and it worked out for them. I think they beat us by a touchdown too.
I just say, you know, and they had to do what they had to do.
Yeah.
So, so like, which I say, what moment sticks out to you the most from this past season?
In the game,
Yeah, in the game.
I'm gonna shout out my boy Raekwon Wicks right quick. We always had this competition to see who had the best hands on defense. I gotta tell him now, I ain't got no hands, bro, because our I ain't want to believe it, but I gotta believe it. I'm a true DB now. I had in our first game, there was a slant route. When I was at corner, I was covering the slant, and the ball comes straight to me. In my defense, I was looking at the receiver. The ball comes straight to me. I put my hands up to catch it, but it's not like I don't catch it like this. I put my hands up like this. You can see it on the film. I pretty much just blocked the ball from hitting me in the face, and I drop it. It like bounced up in the air off my knee, goes up. I dive to get it. I missed the ball, but it was right in my hands. If I catch it, it's a pick six, and I just dropped the ball. So that probably stick out the most because I didn't have no interceptions on the year, and I was like, bro, that was in my hands, and I just didn't catch it.
Yeah, you know, it happens. I mean, we had that problem for a while. I mean, it was very sudden this year. I feel like we dropped like 3 picks. It just, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it wasn't a great year. It was weird because I would have maybe Mosley led us in picks. I think it was
Crazy. He ain't got no, but hey, he did his thing this year.
Okay, now I will say though, I will give him credit because he did do what he did against Washburn last year, where he
Yep,
should have had that pick six and then ran directly out of bounds. He had a
yep,
similar play, and at least he stayed in bounds till he was forced out. So I do
right,
give him credit on that because that you know
right.
we have green grass and we're just running straight out of bounds. Like, what are we doing?
He got excited. He didn't know what to do.
All that stuff. Um, I was like, what was I gonna say now? So kind of when you look back on your rookie season, how do you feel like you did?
uh, about as good as I could have done, honestly. I think that aside from dropping the one interception, there wasn't really much else that I could do that didn't already come my way. Like I said, I only missed one tackle on the year, so everything that I touched, I pretty much made the play. So it wasn't really a whole lot that I felt like I could have done with given what came my way.
And kind of what are your kind of goals for next season?
Obviously, tackling is one of the things I love to do, so I want to make sure I stay on the leaderboards with that. I think I finished fourth in the league this year. I was the number two DB. I was behind my teammate by a half a tackle, so it wasn't. It was a pretty productive year on that side of the ball. Um, I want to definitely get some interceptions next year. I've been working on my coverage, man coverage, and everything like that. Been getting a lot better with my footwork, staying in phase with the route. So this year, I just need to come up with some more interceptions and make the Japan All Star team. I don't know if you know about this or not, but they played. They call it the Dream Bowl. It's Japan All Stars. This year they played against the Ivy League All Stars. I think last week was the game. They flew them out to Tokyo and had a game out there. I didn't end up getting picked for the All Star team this year, which was crazy to me, given the production I had and not really feeling like there were many people that could compete with that. But I guess I just got to do a better job of making it more one sided than I felt like it was, um, and definitely to um, get some playoff wins for my team and try to get the championship. That's definitely at the top of my list for next year.
And you said you finished a half tackle behind one of your teammates. Now, were you all aware that like throughout the season that he had that half tackle lead, or was it just kind of known like at the end of the season that he just happened to have a half tackle more than you?
We were really back and forth all year. They put out the stats every week. So after each team plays, they'll put the stats out, and it was always I was up front or I was leading him or he'll lead me. It was flipping back and forth, and I think I had him for maybe 2 weeks in a row. I had more tackles than he did, but he wasn't far behind. He had like one or two less than me after every game, and just I guess he pulled ahead in our last game. I think he had 23 and a half. I had 23. So I don't know how they calculate the tackles or whatever, or when they're giving halves and when they're not. I'm not really too sure, but he ended up beating me by a half a tackle. But it was definitely one of the things that we was going back and forth. I practiced a lot about talking about we was gonna beat each other at the end of the year. So he got one up on me this year. So I got to get him back.
Now, I did notice in a lot of either your stories, your picks, the team stories, their picks. You were wearing your UCO gear a lot.
Yeah.
Like, did that ever generate any kind of like? Was that a conversation started? Did you ever get any like questions about it?
About where I went to school.
Yeah. Like when they saw the UCO gear and that kind of stuff.
Um, yeah, a little bit. They just kind of asked where it was because they didn't like they know the geography of the U.S., but it's not really too like Edmond's not really a city nobody knows about if you're not living in Oklahoma for real. So I wouldn't really like specify where it was at, but I just told them what school I went to and all that. And crazy thing is, one of the coaches, my defensive coordinator from last year, he spent some time coaching in the U.S., but he was at OU, so he spent some time in Norman, so he knew where the school was at. But they were a fan of the gear, and they all asked me to bring them some stuff back. I was like, I don't know if I got that kind of pull up right now, but if I can get y'all something,
I mean, you got some context though, right? I mean, Mosley's still there, Buck Height's still there. You know, I mean, I'm sure they could finagle you some gear. You
yeah, they
know,
might.
it's not that in there. Now I gotta ask. I gotta ask now because you keep changing jersey numbers. I think your first year you were 49, then you were 37, then you
Yeah,
were 7. Now
yeah,
we're at the lowest possible number of 0. So, so
man.
what? Can we just not settle on a number here? Like what?
It is not my choice. It has not been my choice. If I had it my way, I would have had 7 every year, and I would have never changed it. But coming in, I was a walk on my first year, so I didn't have a choice. They didn't even know if I was gonna suit up or play or do anything like that. So they kind of just threw a number on me. Was like, there you go. And then I ended up making it to be able to play special teams. So they was just like, well, you keeping the number. It was 7 was a quarterback number. I think it was Will at the time was our starter, so they wasn't gonna take his number and give it to a walk on that don't start. And then the next year, it was pretty much the same situation. I think one of the quarterbacks had it. So 37 was my all-star number in high school. So I was like, well, it got a 7 in it, and I wore it before, so I'll take 37. And then senior year, I had a little reputation built up. I had a little bit of, what I'm saying? I got what I wanted a little bit, so I was like, yeah, I want a 7. So I got it. Going out to Japan, they sent me a list of numbers that were taken and that weren't taken, and 7 was one of them that was taken. It was like one of the only ones. It might have been like 4 numbers that I couldn't have, and 7 was one of them. So I was like, man, come on. And I really ain't cared too much for none of the other ones. Oh, 7 and 37 were both taken. So I was like, there go my options right there. So I was like, I ain't never wore 0 before. Let's go with that. And then, hold on. See, this is what it's crazy why you say that. Because 7 opened up for next year. I was going to get it, but I was like, man, I done already established myself as 0 in the league and all that. So I'm just keep it.
Yeah, that's what I was about to ask. Are we going to keep 0 now, or is the musical chair going to continue? Bro? Like, bro, like I'm just not gonna lie. Like I feel like if like if the merchandise was a serious state, they would truly love you because they would know every year we have a new Tre'Vaughn Craig jersey to sell. Meanwhile, the
Yo,
fans would be mad. Bro, we think you buy one
man,
Tre'Vaughn Craig jersey, then you gotta buy
man.
another.
And that's part of the reason too, because I was really debating. I was like, man, I ain't even want 0. I wanted 7. So it opened up, and I was like, I'm gonna go get it. And I thought about it. I was like, bro, they already because they do a lot of merchandising and like marketing the American players in Japan. So they got zeros all over the place with my face and name on everything. So they selling like T-shirts, little pins, keychains, all that. Hold on, I got one right here. I'll show you. They got little Challengers cutout jersey like this with the 0 on it, and they got my name on the back of it. Hold on, wrong way.
Okay.
So they doing stuff like that, and I was like, yeah, the fans gonna be a little mad if they got to rebuy it and they got 7 on it.
Oh, now okay. Now you mentioned that. So now maybe those of us that might want to purchase one of the, is there like a website that they have that sells the stuff we can order it from?
Yeah, it's in Japanese. I can't read it. I don't know. I couldn't even tell it to you. I have to say I will put the link in my bio on Instagram, and if you want to get merchandise that way, you can do that. There's a lot of stuff that'll be coming out next year, that isn't on the store right now. And we trying to get replica jerseys in there and everything, up the merchandise game a little bit. But the site's not updated right now from last season, so I don't know if it's really too much on there you can get, but it's definitely gonna be. I'll put that in my bio, and anybody who wants to support can go in there and do that.
So when you see that now, your name and number on keychains on other things, what does that mean to you?
And man, it means a lot because like it's not the level that I always imagined that I would be playing at or could be playing at. But it's always been my dream to get paid to play football, and that's what I do now. So it's kind of like I went from nobody really thinking that I was going to even go play in college to now I get paid to do it. So it's like definitely not I made it because this ain't the I love playing in Japan, but I still got dreams to go higher. So we not all the way where I want to be yet, but it's just like cool to be like I play professionally now.
Yeah, because you're only one of three that are doing that. Is you, is your former teammate Robert Fuentes, who's now in the indoor football league, and then there's Josh Crockett, who's also in the indoor football league. Um,
Marco
so
too.
kind of know who?
Marco Damio.
Oh yeah. Well, I know. Yeah, he was in the XFL last year. I don't know what he's, yeah. So okay, so knowing that there's a select few of you that kind of I guess carry the UCO banner at the pro level, like
Mhm.
what kind of pride does that kind of give you, knowing that like your play maybe help open some eyes on UCO potentially about this, people being interested, like, oh, okay, I see Tre'Vaughn went to UCO, or I see Rob went to UCO. Let me do some further digging into that. Like, what does that mean, being able to kind of carry um, that name, that experience with you into the pro level?
It means a lot because obviously, especially overseas, we're not really a school that people know too much about, or many players come out of that just go and do those type of things. So it's definitely good, in my opinion, to be able to have guys like us that are playing in different leagues at different levels and whatever, and be able to bring attention to the school because, um, even though it's not the NFL or nothing, it's still an opportunity to continue playing if you love the game. And I think there's definitely been a lot of people on the team that I've played with over the years that would have loved the opportunity to do something like that had they known about it, opportunities being presented. So I think it just opens up a little more for people to go and look and find those players and see like our roster, even though there's only 4 of us playing professionally right now, probably about 10 of us from that team, our graduating team, that really could have did it if they were in those positions and presented those opportunities.
And I don't know if you were able to kind of follow this past season. It was kind of similar. I feel like to 2021, where I think like there were high hopes and there were several close losses there. We had a few close losses. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I guess like if you had any kind of like words of encouragement or advice to this year's team, seeing how you were able to spearhead a turnaround from 4-7 to 6-5. Like, would you have any advice or words of encouragement for this year's group, um, heading into the spring and then the off season?
Yeah, I really just say continue to buy in and have faith in what the coaching staff is doing, because they only in a second year of really um, trying to get this program to where they know that it can be. And I think that they got the right people in place to do that. It's just, it takes time to get a system really operating and be effective. So I'll just say keep buying in because they're doing some good things. And you really, like, as you've seen from the past season and seasons before, we're not far behind from anybody, really. It's just a couple mistakes here and there, or, a couple technique issues that could fix some things. So just lock in, keep working, and it's going to hit when it's ready to hit.
Now I did happen to notice now because you do dabble in music. I saw you were at a studio up there. I was like, of course you'd find a studio. What? What? Like, of course you'd find a studio.
Okay, look. This is crazy, bro, because it really just be happening. I wasn't even looking for it. So the city I live in, Japan's a very tight country with a whole lot of networking. So like people know people. And I was just going around finding places to eat or whatever, and there was this restaurant that opened up right around the corner from where our apartment is, and it was like a taco shop. So I was like, I ain't never had tacos in Japan before. Let me go try these. And I went in there, talked to the dude, and he is actually friends with the VP of my team. So we are talking about challengers a little bit, and eventually, like, we got cool. Like, I done kicked it with bro family, showed up to his daughter's birthday party, his little daughter's 2-year-old birthday party. Just go over there, chill with them and all that. And there's a right next to it, like connected to the building, is like a performance lounge. And obviously they right next to each other, they know each other. I ain't know they've been friends for years, but that dude is like one of the major producers in Japan for like their famous artists or whatever. So I was just talking to him one day, and they were scrolling through my Instagram the day before, seeing that I was doing music and posting music and stuff, and they was like, "You want to get in the studio with us?" So I was like, "Yeah, I got some songs I wrote that I just never recorded." So we went in there and just got to work, and they liked it, and they was trying to, do some performances. I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna do that yet, but we gonna see. I might be performing out in Japan at some point.
I want to say, but now you gotta seize the moment here now. I gotta seize the moment now. Well, wait,
Yeah,
we could be football player by day, rapper by night. You know? Yes.
yeah.
Oh.
I'm for sure do it for the experience. The only thing I'm hesitant about is like I got songs that's most I like lyricism for real. So my bars be if you don't know English, you're not gonna know what I'm talking about. And the beats don't really be that crazy. They be more like melodic type beats. So I'm gonna be in there and they gonna be looking at me like I don't know what you talking about. But if I bring one of them songs that got like one of them upbeat, like, you know what I'm saying, get the crowd hype. It don't matter what I'm saying. I just don't got a whole lot of those right now.
Yeah, okay. Well, I mean, you could put out a few that you do, get a
Yeah,
get some feelers for it. Okay, do they like it? Do they not like it? And you can kind of go from there. I mean, you don't have to display your whole catalog now. You
right,
put out
right.
1 or 2 songs here.
Yeah.
Like I always said, the door is still open. If you want to if you want to do an intro for us, the door is still open. Like I have the one I've used for forever now. So I mean, if you got a, I just so whatever the show can do to get your music out there, just let me know, and we'll put it in some video or something or another. But we'll do what we
I,
can. We do what we can.
I appreciate that.
Uh, yeah, no problem, sir. Now I know you're a Milwaukee Bucks fan, so I
Yeah.
have to ask here: what are your thoughts on the whole Adrian Griffin getting fired, Doc Rivers coming in situation?
It's interesting. I really don't know too much about what happened within that because it wasn't like the team was. We were second in the East when he got fired, so I'm not really too sure what the whole firing was about. But Doc Rivers is a good coach, so the team's struggling right now. I mean, we up and down a little bit, so I think we just need to find a rhythm because bringing in Dame, having two superstars on the same team that's used to carrying their team on their back is kind of not. I don't want to say butting heads because they really are both producing, but the rest of the players really ain't doing too much right now. So we got to figure out a way to have two superstars on the team and be able to distribute the ball and make them work together for real to win some games. If we could do that, you know, we won the championship with only having one superstar on our team before. So working with two now is going to be, I think we got a good chance of figuring it out, but I think Doc Rivers is going to be able to pull it together.
Yeah, okay, that's good because I know some have been questioning Doc, because of the second round exits at his previous stops and stuff. So okay, that's good. That's good. You're coming in, man.
Yeah.
Trying to think now. You're a Packers fan, right? Was
For
that
sure.
the case? You're
Yep.
okay.
Touching
So
every.
now, so because your former teammate Bryson, he was high on Jordan Love the whole time. He
Mhm.
was really getting it in on the post
Yeah.
after his success this season.
Yeah.
So now, I first got to say, we know the Cowboys are much beloved in Oklahoma.
Right.
I'm sure you had some teammates that were Cowboys fans. When
Right.
Green Bay did what they did to Dallas, how much trash talk did you get in?
Not much. I ain't have to. When the last time they beat us and it meant something? I, I ain't. I ain't got to do too much talking. Look, the Bears, the Lions, the Cowboys, even the Vikings. When it matters, they don't beat us. I really don't do too much talking to them.
Okay, but the Lions did with the division this year, though. Now you
We
gotta
beat
give
them
them
though.
that now.
We beat them. It don't matter. We beat them. Where we were what 7-6 or like 8-7. I don't know. We was barely 500 when we played them, and they was top of the division. Still won the division, and we beat them, and it wasn't a good game at all. So I mean, take it with a grain of salt. They at the same place we are at the crib watching the Super Bowl. So we got the head to head.
Oh, that's tough. That's
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
tough. Yeah, no, I wasn't surprised Green Bay beat Dallas just because you never trust Dallas in a meaningful football game. But
no,
I was surprised it was that bad. I was doing something else, and my group chat was blowing up, and I was like, okay, let me turn on the game and see. And it was like 28-0. I was like, wow.
yeah. Now that I ain't expect it to be like that because Dallas got a good defense. So I definitely thought it was gonna be a much closer game, but I ain't doubt for a second that we was gonna win. But when we started blowing them out, I was like, oh yeah, this is ugly. And then we put our backups in, and they tried to come back. It was like, bro, why we pull them out just to put them back in? It made us look stupid, but we weren't going to the Super Bowl no way. So we was just out there having fun.
Well, I mean, you won't almost beat the 49ers, though.
Yeah, we did. We did. That was a really good game. But honestly, bro, I didn't expect that. I knew it was gonna be a competitive game, but the 49ers one of them teams that always give us trouble. It don't matter how good we play. They got our number right now. So we gotta figure that one out. But it was a good game, but I don't think really nobody expected us, even the fans. To, you know, we was hopeful, but we was playing. We ain't had nothing to lose.
So okay, so who do you have winning the Super Bowl? Chiefs or the 49ers?
That's tough because honestly, probably the Chiefs. Because if you can stop McCaffrey's production, you can handle everybody else. Like Kittle's smooth, Debo smooth, but they not really. You can handle them. McCaffrey's the dynamic one where if Chiefs can keep the ball out of his hand, they probably be able to wrap that one up.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's just tough to bet against Mahomes in the Super Bowl. I just given
Yeah,
what we've seen from him. Yeah,
yeah.
okay.
It's gonna be a great game way though.
Yeah, I know it's I know it's disappointing. I know a lot of people wanted to see the Lions in there. So I'm sure you were obviously happy when they crapped the bed there and collapsed and lost that and lost
Not,
that
not
game.
for real though, because it would have made the division look good, and that's a moral victory for us because they in the Super Bowl and we beat them. I kind of wanted that one, but it's not really too ain't too much you could do about that. But it definitely would have been something to see the Lions go to the Super Bowl, especially after not having the best track record in the division. And yeah, it was really it was cool that they lost, but I kind of wanted them to win just to have bragging rights, be like, yeah, we beat
Mhm.
y'all. It suck.
I mean, I can see that, but like when Baltimore lost as a Steelers fan, I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty satisfied with that. It's like, yeah, okay, yeah, yes, it could, it could make the division look good. Again, nothing against Lamar Jackson, I love the man, but like, no, I can't
Yeah,
have the Ravens fan. It's yeah, no. The way they always steal Steelers draft picks at the last, yeah,
yeah.
no.
I
So,
feel,
okay.
I feel you.
Okay. I guess my final question for you. Last time we saw Tre'Vaughn Craig, he had a low style haircut. Now we see Tre'Vaughn Craig and he's got that. So what kind of sparked the hairstyle change?
No barbers in Japan. I mean, they got them, but I don't really know if I trust them to be. I spent some time learning how to cut my own hair while I was out there, so it wasn't really nobody I trusted with my hair. I kept it in braids while I was out there. So I'm trying to grow the sides out so I can do the braids all around, and then I'm gonna trim it down some. So you're gonna see another change by the time you see my picture next. But yeah, ain't no story behind this other than I ain't trust them to cut my hair.
Well, you got, or you got now you. So you tell us so. You, there had to have been one barber
Right.
that could have sufficiently might not have been fantastic, but could have sufficiently have cut your hair though.
Maybe. I don't know. I wasn't finna find out.
You're like, I'm gonna find out either.
Uh-uh. Cause see, my thing is, and it's crazy because I don't be that picky with barbers here, especially with my hair longer, because I can cover it. But like, I don't know. It's just like I can't trust them because I mean, let's be honest. It ain't really no black people or mixed people in Japan, so you don't even know how to handle my hair if you wanted to. I'm like, if anybody gonna mess my head up, it's gonna be me. So that's what I was doing for a little bit.
Okay, true. Okay, I'll give you that. I'll give you that. Yeah, that is a very valid point there. Okay. Um, so I guess what kind of are your off season plans now that you're back home and chilling?
Just same thing, different day. Working out. About to get into the off season work, lifting heavier and doing all that. I'm just recovering. I had an injury throughout the season, so I'm just really just getting over that and trying to work my body back up to being as close to 100% as I can before I head back out. I'm supposed to be out in Japan in April. We got a sponsor game coming up in May. For the new sponsors, we got to kind of put on a showcase. make them think they got something to throw some more money into. So just really getting ready for that, getting back conditioned, getting stronger, healthier, and trying to be more productive for next season, make a statement for real.
Well, I mean, I'll as I followed this year, I'll be following along again. Um, I've seen some of the clips. They was like, yeah, that's vintage Tre'Vaughn Craig right there. So, but Trevor, I appreciate you taking time to come on and talk to us once again. Like I said, I think you are the first pro player we have on here. I believe so. So, I think you're one of the very few reoccurring guests. Well, I guess I mean you was Lane, there was Peyton,
Yeah.
but yeah, no. So I appreciate you taking time to come on. I'll be sure to I'll get the link for the website from your bio and put it in the description here. So people that watch that don't have social media can get to the store and get some of your gear and some of your challengers gear.
Yes, sir.
But if you ever want to come back on again, you cook up a cool intro, whatever it might be. We'd be more than happy to have you back on. Just let me know and we'll set something up for you. I wasn't aware that there was a 14-hour time difference though. That is
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, man, it's wild. When we waking up, they going to sleep and vice versa. So it's real different.
That's that's crazy to me. Okay, well, I appreciate you coming on, and like I said, I'll be more than happy to have you back on, and I'll be pulling for you and following you again this season, knowing that it will be number 0. There will be no other number change, so that's
So,
very good. Because see, Ray Wicks was doing the same thing, and it gets annoying because I'm like, all right, I know for a fact this is his number, right? Like I'm trying to
yeah,
think, like right, it's like Lane. Lane was the same number the whole time, right? I
yeah,
know Mosley's been the same number the whole time. Buckeye's but when people start changing numbers on me, it's like when Rob went from 94 to 0.
yeah,
Mike went from 90 to 8. Like, I like,
yeah,
okay, I get it. The single digits, it looks cool. I get that. But like, now I gotta watch the game. I'm like, who is he again? Oh yeah, that's Rob. Oh yeah, that's Tre'Vaughn. And it just what
yeah,
it's just,
yeah.
it's
Well,
just
now you got a new perspective on it. We ain't all had our first choice, our first year. Sometimes we got to thug it out until we get what we want.
okay. Oh, so now I get that. So okay, so now like when you were at UCO, so like was the numbers determined by like if you were upperclassmen, you got like first dip? Because like I know there have been times where like there's been some newcomers that have gotten single digits.
Mhm.
So like, how did that process kind of work?
It really just depends on who's in charge of the numbers that year. Sometimes it'll be seniors will get to pick first, or sometimes the starters pick first, or it depends. Sometimes you will pick a number, and if you're not being as productive, somebody else will get the number. If you're not gonna play as much, or it just really depends. It's a whole lot of different things that it could be. It changes every year, but typically, it's always the guys that are reliable that you know are going to be on the field, know are going to play, contribute to the team, will more than likely be able to pick whatever number they want, and then everybody else is going to get what they want or get what they was left over. So it's kind of just if you're going to produce, you'll get the number you want. If they're not too sure, you're going to get what's left.
Okay, like, yeah, I guess that makes sense because Terrell was 81 for a period. Then he
Yep.
comes out in 17 all of a sudden, and
Yep.
then this past year he's number 8. It's like, yeah,
Yep.
can we like stick to him? No.
Yeah. See, that one I
Oh,
don't know.
that's
I
funny.
don't know. And that was with that one. I don't know if he wanted 17 or if he really wanted 8 the whole time. He might have just been like, whatever, I'm switching numbers. Not everybody do that,
Well,
but
see,
hey,
I think he wanted 8 because he was number 8 in high school.
okay.
But like but then he switched to 17 like mid-season. Which
Yeah.
I was like, I didn't know we were doing that because it messed up the stats because like I would notice it would have Adrian Wilson listed, even though it was Terrell making the catches, because that's just what it was on the roster. It was
Right.
so it was like it was screwing up stats, and I know for a fact that was annoying Brandon, because he had to go back after the fact and change it, because it was accumulating it for Adrian Wilson. But now, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. Anything else? Okay, well, I think that's all I have for you, Tre'Vaughn. Again, I appreciate you coming on, and wishing you the best of luck moving forward.
Yes, I appreciate you having me, always supporting and showing love. It means a lot.
No problem, Tre'Vaughn. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.